Alright guys, and what is going on? How y'all doing again on this Sunday evening? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and we are here live for my live review of this past Friday night's edition of Smackdown, the October 14th, 2022 edition that did take place in Louisiana, New Orleans, Louisiana. That's the correct term to say it there. Okay. It was the Fallout show from Extreme Rules, and we are now on the road to WWE's Crown Jewel. And of course, we did, for the first time since his historic and legendary, considering, return at Extreme Rules, Bray Wyatt. We heard from him for the first time tonight since on Friday, since he made his return. And it was a very interesting segment that's got some other rumors buzzing about what was originally rumored about Bray Wyatt and his return. We will definitely address that, and I will not take any credit, as these are rumors I've heard from other YouTubers and other things that circulate on the internet. So this was not my idea, so it's something that I've heard rumors about that I actually am a little bit intrigued by, because it is a little bit of a swerve. And overall, though, based on how SmackDown was, I thought SmackDown was good. There was a couple of things that I was kind of like, this is whatever, or I don't care too much about this really. So a couple of iffy little things. But I thought it was still a good show. The hardest part was I did miss the first half hour, 40 minutes of it, because I did go out to dinner with my fiance on Friday night. It was a very delicious meal at Applebee's. Got some wings and fries. It was pretty good. She got her mudslide. So I did watch when I get back, but we did forget to set the DVR before I got back. But from what I did watch the highlights of the stuff I missed on YouTube, which I did miss quite a bit, actually, from what I saw. There was some intriguing storytelling on some things. A surprise, shift from Raw to SmackDown. So yeah, we got quite a bit to talk about here for this episode of SmackDown. And of course, this cover has been updated, which probably will be this way for a while, with Roman Reigns and Ronda Rousey now back to being your SmackDown Women's Champion. Although the reset button may already have been set, though, on Liv Morgan, because I did like what they did with Liv Morgan on this show. Like I said, well, I'll wait till I get to that. I don't want to jump ahead, because Liv Morgan was not the highlight of the show. The big cliffhanger coming out of the show was, what the heck was up with that ending with Bray Wyatt? So we will talk about that when we get there, of course. We have nobody in the live chat right now. A little sad, but it's okay. Let's roll in, though, and let's talk about this episode of SmackDown. Again, we are in New Orleans, Louisiana, home of WrestleManias 30 and 34. 30, of course, still one of my personal favorite WrestleManias. 34 was fine until, again, I think what hurt, I always say hurt WrestleMania 34 was that last hour. The last, 2 or 3 matches. Because the AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura match was good, but it was nowhere close to the classic we knew they could have had. And, of course, we had the Nicholas and then the Roman Reigns, but that's long gone in the past. That's long gone in the past. Let's roll in, though. Let's talk about this episode of Smack It Down, man. Didn't have the link pulled up here completely yet. Let's get this up here. All right. Here we go. Let's roll into it. So the show opens up. If I get down to the notes here. Come on. The show opens up, though, in the parking lot, where apparently we were told there was a car accident with Karrion Kross and Scarlett that they were involved in. And their cars seemed pretty banged up. Out of nowhere, though, rolled up Drew McIntyre, who seemed like that he may have been one person who may have caused the accident. But he beats down Karrion Kross, and he tries to slam a truck door on him, but referees, though, resist him from doing it. So I guess that they're continuing the feud with Karrion Kross and Drew McIntyre. We'll, of course, see where this goes, though, because it's a feud I don't want to see 50-50 booking from. I mean, granted, I love Drew McIntyre, and I feel like he's getting like the short end of the stick. As I still think they should have capitalized and put the damn titles on him at Clash of the Castle. But also, I can't afford to see Karrion Kross lose right now. My opinion, Karrion Kross should be somebody that does get built up pretty strong. So it's not the right time for him to lose, in my opinion. So that's the only concern I have about them continuing this feud. I don't want to see Drew keep losing, but Karrion Kross does need to get built back up strong like he was in NXT, in my opinion. And not get screwed over again. But, so we have that video. Then, of course, we do have the New Day opening up, greeting us in the city of New Orleans, reminding that they're still the longest rating WWE World Tag Team Champions in history. That record that was important to them because it's their legacy and it will stand strong forever. Of course, that is kind of, I guess that is kind of what's building to them having, possibly being the next one to challenge for the Undisputed Tag titles is the New Day. So, okay, we've seen them do this feud how many times? It's been a while. I think the last time we had a pay-per-view match was sometime last year. Maybe right before WrestleMania, after WrestleMania? I can't remember. But I know at some point, or no, I don't know after that. I can't remember. I do feel like there was a pay-per-view tag matchup between them at some point within the past year or so. Again, it's a feud that's nowhere close to as good as it's going to get to as it was in 2017. Oh man, like the matches they had there, especially their Hell in a Cell match in 2017, definitely their best match for sure. But storytelling driven wise, okay, it would make sense as to why they would want to challenge for the tag titles here. Because they're going for trying to break their streak as the longest reigning tag team champions. But anyways, in Gorilla, we see Sami Zayn giving Solo Sikoa a pep talk as he is supposed to be in a fatal 4-way match later on in the show for a number contendership for the Intercontinental Championship. Who else in that match? We'll get to that shortly. But then Jey Uso, of course, rolls up. Main event Jey Uso, who, I'm sorry, anytime that I put in like my tags on YouTube and I solely put in Jey Uso, I'm sick and tired of it auto-correcting to Hey Uso. Not Jey Uso, Hey Uso. Drives me nuts. But anyways, Jey Uso rolls up and it says he's handling family. I'm sorry. Jey rolls up and Sami goes, "Where's Jimmy?" Jey says that he's handling some family business. And then Sami says he thinks he would have been told about this also, which Sami Zayn is getting a big swelled head there, thinking that, Roman likes him more than his own cousin. But Jey says this is real family business. And then Sami was trying to tell Sol to prep for his match, and for Jey to come second him, and then his phone rings as him and Jey bicker. It's Roman Reigns, the tribal chief. Sami tells him that Jey chose not to do anything and Reigns wants to talk to him. And of course, Jey, doesn't even get a word in there. But of course, he acknowledges Roman as his tribal chief or passing the phone back. And then Sami's like thinking he's got Roman wrapped around his little finger, like a spoiled child. Has the giggles and tells Jey it was an inside joke when his music hits. So Jey Uso was out there in his corner with Sami's match against Kofi Kingston. And then, of course, twice, Jey Uso kind of got involved. He super kicked Xavier Woods. And then, towards the end of the match, whenever Kofi had Sami in a roll-up close to the ropes, the referee could not see Jey, but Jey pushed them so that way the momentum rolled in Sami's favor, and then Sami got the victory with the roll-up victory. So Jey Uso, surprisingly, helped Sami get a victory after he failed to help him get the victory on Monday. So that's a little interesting there. Baby steps as to seeing will Jey Uso and Sami start to get along. Because ever since Sami Zayn's become the honorary Uso, of course, Jey Uso has never seemed to approve. So, no build towards the match with Logan Paul and Crown Jewel. I still don't care. I'm sold on Crown Jewel only because of Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. Not for Roman Reigns and Logan Paul. But, anyways. So, we're going to move on. Then we got this. This was very interesting as well. This was interesting. We had Triple H talking to the cops, probably about what was going on with Drew McIntyre and Karrion Kross. When who appears? Rey Mysterio. What's Ray doing on SmackDown? He comes up to Triple H and asks for a favor, which, by the way, also, I guess, is this... You would think that we haven't seen Adam Pearce on TV or anything since the whole random beef he had with Ronda like a month or two ago during her suspension. So I don't know if that's Adam Pearce no longer being written as like a official, or if we're going to be getting general managers back. But Triple H has been getting a little bit of screen time lately. So I wonder if Adam Pearce got the boot and Papa H is the one being the officiate now. I don't know. But anyways, Ray rolls up to ask Triple H a favor. He says it's not easy to say, and with everything, with how Dominic has treated him, he's reached his breaking point. He doesn't see a way moving forward. He refuses to fight his son, not even at his worst, yelling in his face and taunting him to fight. Triple H says he can't imagine how he feels, but then Ray says he still sees that little boy bouncing on his lap and falling asleep on his shoulders. He can't do this anymore. He's sorry. He loves WWE, and this will always be his home. But he wanted to look Triple H in the eyes and tell him the same words that that the Judgment Day made Edge say last Saturday at Extreme Rules. I quit. Rey Mysterio, up front, refuses to fight his own son. To lay a finger, not a finger, on his own son. Yes, Christmas is coming up in 2 months. We gotta get ready for the Christmas story reference. Not a finger! I didn't have a hat to actually do it that well or whatnot. But anyways, he quits. Triple H didn't even resist. And he just tries to talk him out of it. He says, I want 5 minutes to talk this over and figure out a way to move forward for this. Ray, okay. And then they walk into Triple H's office. What the talk was about, we'll have to find out later on. But, okay, that's, storytelling-wise, they're Rey Mysterio's at his breaking point. The guy flat out cried on Raw because he's heartbroken by what has happened with his son. His only son. Not his only child, but his only son. The person that he has been able to make history with being the first father-son duo to be tag team champions. And now his son is just kicked to the side and going, Jefe, I hate you. I really hate you. The douchebag he's become, but he's such a great douchebag. Anyways, so we'll find out later what this talk between Triple H and Rey Mysterio was. Then we have a segment backstage with Shotzi Blackheart hanging out with NXT's Roxanne Perez. I have not seen any of Roxanne's work. I know, though, I've heard she's in a feud with Cora Jade, who she apparently won the NXT Women's Tag Titles with. And then when I think Roxanne won the Women's Breakout Star Tournament, she had a shot against Mandy Rose, and Cora Jade cost her the match, and they've been feuding ever since. And from what I've heard, again, I don't watch NXT still, I keep saying, but again, I just, peek at the results here and there and see what all is going on. But I guess they're doing a pick your poison thing, and I guess Cora picks somebody from Raw to face Roxanne at Halloween Havoc, or on an episode of NXT 1 to 2, and Roxanne is picking somebody from SmackDown to face Cora. So, Roxanne is talking with Shotzi Blackheart when Raquel Rodriguez rolls up. And she warns Perez about Cora Jade, which I'm confused as to why. I mean, I looked back too, and it looked like, I think, Cora and Raquel were briefly a team, I think, before Raquel got called up. I don't know. I don't know the whole story, but again, I've still seen something, see what the heck is going on down at NXT. But anyways, Roxanne asks Raquel to fight Cora for her this week, which I believe she accepts. But then Bayley comes out of nowhere and says she's the only choice to fight Cora, and Roxanne says she was going to pick her, but then she remembers she's not exactly on a winning streak right now. Bayley then challenges the three of them to a trios match later on against Damage Control, which happens later on in the show. And then we have Braun Strowman having a 2-on-1 handicap match with a bunch of jobbers. During the match, though, Omos and MVP, I almost said big MVP, come walking through the crowd. They don't step over the barricade, but it was kind of like they were spectating and not part of the show. And I see that and I'm like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh no! Oh no! Okay, Cassius, oh no, whatever he's doing now on the Indies or whatnot. I hope he's doing well. So basically Braun Strowman squashes jobbers in front of Omos. And then MVP says that Braun looks normal, will look normal standing next to Omos. Basically saying that he's not a giant compared to Omos. So we're teasing a match now with Braun Strowman and Omos. God. That does not sound good at all. That does not sound good at all. Oh my gosh. That'll be like Kane or Big Show versus the Great Khali all over again. Or like Undertaker versus Giant Gonzalez. Every time I say that I want to just heave at the idea of that ugly costume he wore. I'm sorry. Ugh. Rest in peace, but that was awful. Yeah, not interested in this feud one bit. Not really. I'm sorry. I'm not interested. I mean, Braun Strowman, they've cooled. They brought him back, but they've cooled down on him. Like, they're not. I don't think they're setting the bar for him too high yet. I think they're trying to kind of ease back on him with the way they're booking him, and not make him feel like, I don't know, like after the Hardcore Fonder, like I was worried at first the way they brought him back, but I've been okay with how they've booked him since, even though it feels like they're trying to book him like Wardlow. But dear God, I have zero interest in him and Omos. I don't care who's writing the show. Vince, Triple H, Road Dogg, which by the way, I saw someone yesterday at the mall while I was shopping for a present, for a birthday present for someone. I saw somebody who looked like Road Dogg in the mall. I forgot to mention that. But I don't care who is right. I don't care even Tony Khan. Well, okay, Tony Khan, I'm not going to pat him on the back so much recently. But anyways, I don't care who in God's name. Ryan Ward, whoever it is that's a great writer, Jimmy Jacobs, who wrote The Festival of Friendship with Chris Jericho, I don't care who. Omos is not it. No, I'm sorry, he's just another Great Khali. Then again, Great Khali is a freaking Hall of Famer. Oh, God almighty, I still don't get that one. So yeah, I have zero interest in Braun Strowman versus Omos. Sorry. We of course have this backstage segment with Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, and Solo Sikoa, and then Jay's demand a thank you. Demand a thank you, just like Chris Jericho demanded before Jon Moxley debuted in AEW. But Sami is not giving Jay any credit. He says he did it all himself. Jay begs Solo to stand up for him, but Solo says he missed it. And then Sami gives Solo a pep talk because he's getting ready for his fatal 4-way match for number one contention for the IC title. But then Jey Uso's like, damn it, like nobody saw it. Nobody saw it. He's like, see, I did it. I get no credit. Will Roman give him credit? We'll have to wait and see, of course. But I saw it, but we all saw it, but apparently they didn't. Sucks for you, hey Uso. Hey Uso. This is, of course, why sometimes I wait to do turn alerts. Because, of course, what I thought may happen did happen. So we have the return of L.A. Knight. Yeah! As he's no longer the creepy Max Dupree. He had a match against one of his former models, Mansoor, with, of course, Maxine Dupree and Marseille at ringside, and he squashed him. After the match, though, he gets on the mic, and he was just like, "You think I did this all for you?" And he goes, "I don't need you swamp-dwelling incels chanting my name. I'm putting this whole roster on notice. And from now on, they can all get their tickets punched because it's L.A. Knight's game. Yeah." So yes, as I thought they would do, which I thought was appropriate to do, of course, they split L.A. Nup. L.A. Nup. L.A. Nup. L.A. Knight. They took away the whole Max Dupree name, took away his Mermaid Man belt, whatever the heck it was called in SpongeBob, because that little M on his belt made me think of that one episode of SpongeBob where SpongeBob and Patrick used Mermaid Man's belt to, shrink things or whatnot, and, all that goofy jazz. They took that away, made him L.A. Knight, and of course still kept him as a heel. Which I think is right for him. Again, because I know he did turn face in NXT from when he teamed up with the NXT Originals against the New Era in the War Games match last year. And I think he remained a babyface the rest of his run, and then he got brought up as a heel. But of course, I didn't see any of that. But he's meant to be a great heel. I loved the work that he did with Cameron Grimes and Ted DiBiase. With that $1 million I mean, it didn't need the $1 million title involved there. Of course, we didn't need the whole throw thing, but I did like his work he did there. He can definitely be an excellent heel, for sure. So, I'm intrigued. I'm glad they're keeping him as a heel. And I'm going to have to do a turn alert on him now. So that got knocked off the pending list. As I get any more, I do have a big list of YouTube videos. What do I want to do? What all do I want? I'm considering doing this and that. This is under my pending section. Well, that got the boot. Now there's two things on the pending section. Bray Wyatt and Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, I'm not sure if that was a full-on heel turn, if that was just, just two faces going at it. Or whatnot. But I'm feeling it's a heel turn, but I'm still not 100% sure yet. And of course, Bray Wyatt, because I have no clue what character he is. If he's a face or a heel. Well, I have an idea what his character may be, but is this supposed to be a babyface thing or a heel thing? We'll, of course, have to, find out. We'll talk about that later on, of course, as well. We then get a replay of Bray Wyatt's return in Extreme Rules, and again are told he will be appearing later on tonight. We then had Damage Control take on the team of Raquel Gonzalez, Shotzi Blackheart, and NXT's Roxanne Perez. I liked Roxanne. I thought Roxanne did very solid in this match. I definitely do see the potential in her. I do see why they gave her the women's breakout star tournament. She's a pretty agile and decent wrestler. I liked what I saw. Damage Control, though, does get the victory. Roxanne did kick out of a Bailey to belly. But unfortunately, she was a victim of a crucifix pin. After the Rose Plan was countered, she reversed into a crucifix pin, and she pinned Roxanne Perez for Damage Control to get the win. So, okay, Damage Control wins as a team, but as individuals, they lose. Booking is still weird, as they've definitely missed some opportunities for them, and especially still the Extreme Rules. So, I still feel like, in order for this to be fixed, they gotta tell the story of, Damage Control's gotta go, a different route. But then again, what will that be? Because at this point, it's if you add somebody else to the group, then they may look like the star, but the rest of them may look weak. So, again, Damage Control is in trouble right now. Because like I said before, I'm starting to, lose interest in the idea of them being in War Games. In my opinion. Okay, I didn't get to check out the live chat yet, but there is some strange activity going on here. They're telling me to find love on the best dating site, and a bunch of kissy faces. I am sorry, but I am already a taken, engaged man. So thank you, but you should come talk to me a couple years ago. But anyways, thank you, but I will pass. And I do see Tyler's in the live chat. Let me read Tyler's comments in the live chat really quick. Fire Logan Paul. This women's division is lifeless with no Charlotte and Becky. Glad Ray is on SmackDown. Hope AJ is next soon. Bring back GMs and brand pay-per-views for Raw and SmackDown, which I do agree. Except still have one pay-per-view a month. One be a Raw show, one be a SmackDown show. You want to give these more people some opportunities on pay-per-views. Split the pay-per-views up again like you did before, but again, just don't have like 2 pay-per-views a month. We don't need 19 pay-per-views a year like we did at one point. He's not a fan of Judgment Day though. It's a poor man version of the Ministry of Darkness that the Undertaker did. He's not a fan of it. I mean, I've definitely been getting more behind Judgment Day for sure, but that's fine. Crown shit instead of Crown Jewel. Omos sucks, he does. Great Khali at least had some okay match with John Cena, One Night Stand, and The Undertaker in Last Man Standing match on SmackDown before SummerSlam 06. Didn't see those matches, but if you liked them though, cool. It was SpongeBob's Shrink Everyone in that. Yeah, he shrunk everybody. SpongeBob was more fun to watch than Horseface. Oh god. And then Triple H made WWE great again. I mean, he's still, making some changes, but he's definitely made a lot more intriguing, of course, again. But thank you as always, Tyler, for your thoughts in the live chat. Anyways, Hit Row made their entrance, who was interrupted briefly by Bray Wyatt's devil mask face doing like a war promo. And then we also, before their match, get another Viking Raiders vignette. Seemingly teasing a return of Sarah Logan. Who is, of course, the real-life wife of Raymond Rowe. Or, as we could know him as, Eric of the Viking Raiders. It'd be nice if Triple H gave them their names back, too. Just saying. But it looks like they're teasing Sarah Logan coming back to being part of the Viking Raiders. Which, okay. Like, I definitely was never really super impressed by Sarah Logan. I hated her finisher, that Kentucky knee. That was basically like a cartwheel with a knee dropping down. I wasn't a fan of that finisher. I thought it was really weak looking. But maybe this will work. Because I know some people say she had like a female Undertaker type theme, like horror character at one point. So maybe like this to work with her husband, maybe this will be some better for her. If that is a factor, which I'm pretty sure it is her comeback. Because even when she returned at the Rumble, made a surprise appearance in the Rumble this past year, I was like, well, this is bland, because like she was basically a jobber the whole time, so we'll see how that goes. And then we had Hit Row, Ashante the Adonis, and Top Dollar taking on Legado del Fantasma's first main roster match, calling back to their rivalry in NXT, which was what it was. But they had Joaquin Wilde, and I guess in NXT they changed Raul Mendoza's name to Cruz del Toro or something like that. This match was okay. Legado del Fantasma won with the Sacrificio on Top Dollar. They pinned Top Dollar to give Hit Row their first loss on the main roster, or like since they've come back. I don't know. Like personally, like I said, I like Santos Escobar. Definitely, I've always was intrigued by him. I was okay with his run as Cruiserweight Champion, but like I said, I think the thing with Legado del Fantasma was, one, I felt they could have done more with them. Well, now having Zelina Vega by their side does make it intriguing. But even still, like, Cruz del Toro, like I used to call him that, and Joaquin Wilde, I still kind of looked at them as jobbers. Like, even when I remember they had a triple threat tag match against the Grizzled Young Veterans and MSK. It was the pay-per-view following when MSK beat Grizzled Young Veterans for the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, for the Dusty Cup. And then they had like a rematch like for the Raw the next pay-per-view or whatnot, and Legado del Fantasma was in it. Even then it was like, okay, they were carried to a solid match. I don't know, I just still see jobber status on both of them. So I think that's why I wasn't as intrigued with this match as I probably could have been. Like, if it was like one of them and Santos Escobar, I would have been more intrigued. But I don't know. It's like, I'm still not. I mean, again, I haven't seen them in over a year, but again, like when I think of Legado del Fantasma, I'm more intrigued by Santos Escobar than the rest. So they got the win, okay, but we'll see, of course, where they go on the main roster. Hopefully, it works out for them. We then have this I liked. We had an interview backstage with Sonya Deville, and she immediately starts talking so much shit on Liv Morgan for being gifted for opportunity after opportunity and failed. She then calls Morgan whiny, and then out of the blue, Liv Morgan shows up and just beat the ever-living shit out of Sonya Deville. She back suplexed her into a road case. She just cleaned off a table and just went haywire, just smashing Deville's face into it over and over and over again. It's like that it reminded me of that overpowering leader of the female clique in the middle school class, and the underdog of the class, beating the shit out of the big leader of a clique or something like that. And then Liv climbs up on top. First, of course, she hits a pump kick and then climbs up top on a scaffold and does a senton through the table. It was one of the best beatdowns I've seen Liv have, for sure. And of course, she was still smiling. So Liv is kind of going a little psycho here. So, which, again, I don't know if this is leading to, her maybe being a member of the Wyatt Six, which we'll talk about that, of course, in a little bit momentarily. Or if this is just her going her own direction. Is this her being truly psycho? Because, like I kept saying, Liv as champion was something that I felt that Triple H just had no control over being able to fix. They were back. Triple H, when he took over, did his best to basically stay continuous with the stories that he had to start with. Try to clean them up and have them at least make sense and transition them into something else. I respect him for doing that. With the booking of Liv Morgan, he was backed into a corner. And I still think the best thing to do was to take the belt off Liv and just start over with her. And I like this. I really like this. Now Sonya's got no room to talk to run her mouth. If I was Sonya, I'd be scared to death of Liv Morgan. Because it was a vicious beatdown. But I really like that beatdown. And then we have Ricochet making his entrance. And we also get a recap of the Fight Pit match. And then some other random stuff. And then, of course, as you have Ricochet come out, then Sheamus, then Solo Sikoa. Originally, the fourth member of this match was supposed to be Karrion Kross. But, of course, with the car accident brawl at the beginning of the show, he was storyline-wise written out of the match. And who was he replaced by? I'm thinking, who are they surprising us with this time? And sure enough, it was Rey Mysterio. So the story here is apparently Triple H offered to move Rey from Raw to SmackDown to be away from his son. So that way he can just focus on himself. Brilliant storytelling. Because this is making me think of what happened with Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano when their feud started. Tommaso Ciampa was injured. He was gone for 8-9 months or whatnot. So Johnny was like, okay, I'm separated from him. I can just focus on myself. Well, then of course when we had Andrade and Zelina feuding with him, they were still trying to play the mind games and get in his head. So it's a good way, like, to at least keep, like, reasonable storytelling going, because, on Raw, we've got the Judgment Day feuding with the OC, which is an awesome feud. I love that idea. And having Dominic doing his own thing. We have Ray on SmackDown doing his own thing, too, like, being far away, taking a break. That way we're not seeing something every single week, and it get overexposed, running its course, and going directionless, and, like, basically, like, if he would have stayed on Raw, it would have been, like, exactly like what happened with, because obviously, Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio is a match Triple H would save for WrestleMania 39, which is what's going to happen. So, obviously, if it was Vince, Rey would have stayed on Raw. It would have been exactly what happened with Seth Rollins and Triple H before we finally got the balls rolling the gears rolling with that feud after Royal Rumble, basically. So we would have had that feud would have been overexposed, and by the time the match happened, it would have been like, thank God, because this was going on and on and on, and it probably would have hurt the match in the long run. Now, though, we get them going their separate ways, but there's a big but here. Not my butt, don't worry. I came wrong. I think what's going to happen, and I mean, I know it would be strange. Well, before I get to that part, spoiler alert, Ray won. And it was a fantastic Fatal 4-Way match and some fantastic counters as well there too. Ray actually also won. I think he set Ricochet up on a second rope. He had his 619 block, but he hit but I think he had like a spinning reversing Spike Frankensteiner to a 619, and then the splash off the top rope, and Ray becomes #1 contender for the Intercontinental title. I don't know though, because based off of Imperium's style and gimmick or whatnot, I don't know if they will if they do. This is a long-term story, just like we're going to have the match in a week or two or whatnot. I don't know if that's going to be a long-term thing. If so, I don't know if Imperium, well, they still could, but it's going to kind of be like, even though Ray's away from Dominic, they're still going to be playing the mind games with him to get in his head. Like exactly what happened with Andrade and Johnny in NXT. Like, even though Tommaso was away, they still, try playing the mind games. Like, anybody remember whenever Zelina Vega posted that photo on Twitter, or maybe Instagram too, with their, I do see I have an important message here, gotta take it a second, but remember when Zelina posted that very evil looking photo of her, and it went, "Hi, Johnny Gargano," and she was wearing a DIY shirt on Twitter. The mind games that we can play with Ray about Dominic will be just spectacular. I think that's the route they need to go though between now and Rumble. Once Rumble comes around, then we're going to see it, all come head to head. I'm pretty sure this feud will get picked up back again when we get to the Rumble match, which I'm hearing already is selling out pretty good. Thanks again, of course, to Triple H taking over. All right. So then, of course, we get hyping up for, what is next for next week. Before, of course, we get to Bray Wyatt, I want to check the live chat because I got a certain notification on my phone, and I think somebody is here in the live chat. Let me see what we got to see here. Well, first we have Tyler giving the show a B-, giving his usual things he would say split the world and tag titles. Oh God, Tyler, I appreciate your support, my friend, but I have to strongly disagree with this comment he made here. He would rather watch Nia Jax's matches than horse faces. I'm sorry, buddy. I completely disagree on that. I do not miss Nia Jax one bit. And he says Liv is nerdy. And of course, we have Robbie Kenobi in the live chat saying Nia Jax. Huh? And by the way, this should be another time for Who Wants to Hear Story Time with the Man instead of Adam Cole, baby. I think it was yesterday or the day before, I was driving. And I drove past behind somebody who had a license plate that said, "Huh?" on it. No. I was in a McDonald's drive-thru line. I was in a McDonald's drive-thru line. I remember when that happened. 'Cause I was getting my fiance a mocha frappe. And, yes, I saw a, huh? And, of course, he says, Mike, by the way, check your Instagram. Okay, let's see what we got here. I'm sure Robbie sent me another delightful message on Instagram. First, let me see here. Oh wow, the Steelers beat Tom Brady. Not a big football fan, but I'll take that. I actually bought my dad a Kenny Pickett jersey for his birthday also yesterday. So, any likes there? Okay, let's pull this up. Let's see. I got a message request here. Okay, enough with these spams and whatnot. Okay, enough distractions. Let's hear what the King of Salad Style, Robbie One Kenobi, has to say. Let me turn my volume up all the way, and let's go.
You know what, Mike? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Why? What's the point? It's the same thing every time. So why am I going to do it? Okay, there's nothing you can say that's going to make me do it, all right? I'm not doing it. There's no point. I kind of feel like a broken record when I do it. You know what I'm saying? You know what, brother? I'll do it for you one more time. I'm the genius, I know, but you know I like you, Mike, so I'll do it for you one more time. Shush! Shush, please! Come on, Mike, you didn't really think I was gonna stop saying, Mikey! It's good to see you again, buddy! Come on, you know that's my thing, man. You know that's my thing.
I always appreciate that, Robbie. Robbie does want to come back on the channel sometime. He does. I mean, I do gotta talk to him though and try to figure something out though, because it's been way too long, and we gotta get another stream going again. Maybe bring some of the boys back on again, but I still do agree. I do have to hear. I still gotta hear. Robbie's grand latest plan of fantasy booking for sure. But he also says, Mike, I know I posted that photo of Liv and saying I would tell my kids she was Harley Quinn, but after this last week, and so I think I'm predicting the future, LOL. I really hope with them both on SmackDown now, we get a marquee PLE, premium live event match between Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar. Now that is a must-see match I would like to see, definitely. And of course, Mike said balls. LOL, great balls. Man, that's like a throwback to whatever I ranted about that urine segment there. Is that what you remember there, Robbie? But oh gosh, and Tyler also said Bray's return was the best of this year. I would say so, yes, myself. Speaking of Bray, though, let's talk about the return of Bray Wyatt. So, we have, of course, the Fireflies out. And then Bray's entrance, which they had the door again, like the Extreme Rules. And also, he has new entrance music. I believe it's called Shatter by Orange Code, who also was the artist from their from the Fiends song. I loved it. That music is awesome. That song, I don't know, like it's either this or Other Side, like that was like one of my new favorite songs from this year. Because when Edge brought out Other Side for when he turned heel, well now it's the Judgment Day theme, which is a badass song. Oh, I loved it. I absolutely loved that song. Of course though, will that be Bray Wyatt's only song? Because let's talk about this. He, of course, walked to the ring holding his lantern. He does indeed have a big nose ring underneath his nose. He blows out the light. And then, of course, the crowd is still going nuts for him. And this promo gets very emotional. Very emotional. And some say this was Wyndham Rotunda breaking character. So he says he's incredibly grateful and nervous to be here. This is a version of him that he's never got to introduce before. Just him being him. genuine for the first time. And I can believe it, because everything he was saying was truth from outside the ring. In the past year, he's lost a lot of things. His career, his self-confidence, 2 people who were very close to him, and he lost his way, which I'm assuming the 2 people he's referring to is Brody Lee. I don't know who the other one is. I might need reminded on that one. But very believable, because I did hear before Bray got released, even during the time where because from TLC till WrestleMania, he was only on TV maybe 2 times. I mean, the whole story was him, getting burned by Randy Orton at TLC, and then of course the whole feud just squandered. I'm sorry, if there's one feud I never want to see again with Bray Wyatt, it's definitely him and Randy Orton, because both times had a very floppy. I mean, it started off good, but then it had a very terrible. It had a bad finish to both of them. Very bad finish. We don't need to see that again. But it's true, because I did hear he did deal with some depression issues. Like Brody Lee's death, Luke Harper's death did really get to him. He got to a point though where he thought his whole career was meaningless and didn't matter to anyone. But he was wrong. Once he was done feeling sorry for himself, he went out into the world again, and people would thank him and say, "When are you coming home?" He would meet someone truly remarkable here and there, and they would come to thank him because they were in a time of need, and they went through what he went through, and in this weakened state, they found his words and wanted to thank him, and he wanted to thank us for saving. They wanted to thank him for saving their life. He could sit here right now and look at us all in the eyes and say, we were there when he was weak and vulnerable and downtrodden, and he thanks us for saving his life. Basically saying he was going in that dark space. How could, especially those who do deal with, mental health and, other things, that I do care about people, of course, a lot, and I'm very, I do, really, sympathize those who do deal with, mental health. I also the type of guy where I respectfully say I can't completely put myself in their shoes, because I feel like everybody who does deal with mental health reasons have different reasons why, and different demons, and it's something you can't completely put yourself in someone else's shoes. But this man flat out, again, had one of the worst years of his life, it finds out. He lost his friend, he lost somebody else, he lost his career, he lost his self-confidence. The man, for crying out loud, is a genius! And Vince McMahon fucked him over at least good 3, 4, 5, however many times. That's why this time when you brought him back, you got to make it right. But of course, he says every time he tried to run away and hide, we found him. And then we're just keep going, Bray. Lights go out. And we're like, huh? And appearing on the screen again is that devil mask. And again, it was warping, but it was telling us to come with him and forget the future and the past. We don't know who we're dealing with, but sooner rather than later, we will. The moth logo on the screen flashes, show ends. And then everybody's like, oh, come on! Even I was like, come on! That promo was so heart-quenching that it just ends like that. Here is what I think, what I'm hearing rumors of. this was Bray Wyatt showing a side of him we've never seen before, right? But then, of course, we see this, like, devil character lurking. So for a while now, even, like, long before Vince McMahon retired, Wyndham Rotunda, like, claimed name to the name Wyatt 6. And I know a lot of people, including myself, thought that was him going to AEW. And whoever was left of the Dark Order, he would claim them as theirs and call themselves the Wyatt 6. There would probably be 6 of them altogether. Then, of course, people are like, what if this is Bray Wyatt starting a new stable? Because there's rumors of, like, you know, like a stable of, like, him, Dexter Lumis, Liv Morgan, and maybe Alexa Bliss. Either maybe, like, Dolph Ziggler or T-Bar or other people joining it, or even, like, Braun Strowman returning back to it. Which I don't know about him, but, you know, okay, it would be nice to see Bray Wyatt get a stable that actually succeeds and doesn't get buried also. But then other people are mentioning this, and it's making me wonder too. What if there is no stable? What if Wyatt 6 is Bray Wyatt in a split personality? With not just 2 different personalities, 6 different personalities. We could have just the Wyndham Rotunda we saw tonight. Just like basically him being him. We could see him being like maybe the Eater of Words. We could see him being Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt. The Fiend. The Devil. Like him behind that mask. And a 6th one. Like a 6th one. Like, what if that is the whole point behind the Wyatt 6? And, like, maybe we've seen the 5. Well, we're still need to know what this 5th one is with like, you know, the Devil's Mask. And what if, like, the 6th one is, like the Plan Z. Like, the Plan Z that, I say Plan Z because you think of the SpongeBob movie where Plankton had to go to Plan Z to try to take over the whole universe. What if this is like the 6th one's like this Plan Z that we don't learn till like further on down the line? Like, I don't know if this Bray Wyatt's gonna be a babyface or it's gonna be a heel. Like, maybe, you know, this 6th, like, you know, personality of Bray Wyatt is a personality that could be something good rather than bad. Like, maybe, like, Bray Wyatt, like, has to find that 6th personality or resist that 6th personality to, you know, get his almighty glory at the end of the story, basically. I mean, again, like, the idea of, my idea of keeping that 6th personality, well, use my thumb for that number. That last personality, like a mystery, was somewhat, I think I just thought of, like, the whole idea of Bray Wyatt having 6 different personalities was not my idea. I've heard, like, other people say that, but that's my thing. What if the 6th, if that is the case with the Wyatt 6, what if that 6th personality is, like, a mystery, like the key ingredient to Bray Wyatt's success? Because I'm pretty sure with how over and how well received he's been since he's come back in the past week, how legendary his return has been, you know, been revealed as and talked about as. I still feel like they should some way give Bray Wyatt, like, that hero's ending with him, like, you know, with him being the one to dethrone Roman Reigns. Or, like, just, like, not dethrone Roman Reigns. Eventually, when Bray Wyatt would win a world title again, which he should while he's back. I'm pretty sure Triple H is not going to pass up putting the world title back on Bray Wyatt. But what if that 6th personality is not revealed further down the line, if that is the route we're going with Bray Wyatt? But the theme song is spectacular. The promo was emotional because there was so much truth into it. But damn, that cliffhanger with that personality. Like, what if that's... Does anybody remember ever watch the Dr. Seuss special, The Grinch? Grinch is the cat in a hat, and the Grinch looks into the mirror and says like, "And a very good morning to you, Mr. Grinch." And then the Grinch in the mirror was like, "Oh yes, is it? I believe the time has come to repeat the Grinch's oath with me." And then he just like poisons the Grinch's mind. Like, this devil mask character may be that thing that, of course, is what's going to, get to Bray Wyatt. But we will have to wait and see, of course. But that's just an idea. Again, like I said, like, I heard the whole thing about Bray Wyatt maybe having like just like 6 different personalities. And my thing is since we don't really know what the 6th one is, what if that 6th personality is like a mystery that we find out later on down the line? Just saying. But that is SmackDown. Yeah, other than a couple little bumps in the road, like, I didn't really care much for, like the stuff with Braun Strowman, and Omos. Like the stuff with like Damage Control's win was, of course, was decent. Like, I was intrigued by Roxanne Perez. I've never seen her wrestle before. I gave the show a B. A good show. Wasn't great because a couple little things, but I thought it was a good show. I gave it a B. So let's check the live chat. We've been live for almost an hour. Wow, very nice stream tonight, guys. Robbie's still here. He goes, I believe his promo in Friday was the first time he ever broke character since arriving on the main roster, which I do agree for sure. Showing a soft side as well. Tyler Edge's heel run was the worst of this year. It was kind of a waste of time in the end, yes. And then Robbie also says, keep Karrion Kross and Bray Wyatt far from each other until the time is right to set them on the path towards a marquee feud. Definitely, yes. That is definitely a dream feud, but you want the both of them at their best for that. So I do agree. Keep them far away from each other. And also says, with Triple H in charge, how excited are you for the Rumble matches? And are you concerned the company's one for Roman to be world champion at Mania could jeopardize the men's Rumble? I mean, the only reason why I'd be afraid to see Roman go into WrestleMania as champion is because I still want to see him versus The Rock. And I still don't think that match needs the title involved. I really don't. So, I don't know. It's like, if someone else wins the Rumble, or of course, I think you have said this, Robbie, or some other people have said too, it could be, okay, they could still do Roman versus Rock on night 1. Winner faces the Rumble winner night 2. Maybe that could be the case, yes. I just still feel, though, with the title on the line, with Roman stuff and the titles, at this point, I don't feel like you need the titles for Rock versus Roman. But my other thing is if we don't do Rock versus Roman in Hollywood, when else are you going to do it? So yes, there is definitely some concern for sure. But I am intrigued to see what Triple H has to pull out of his hat for those Rumble matches for sure. For both the men and the women. They will be hopefully lots better than this past year's Rumble matches. Because these past year's matches sucked. I'm sorry. They were not that good. I do not look forward to when I do them for my Rumble recap and review series in January, but I am going to have to do them, though, because if I want to keep consistency on this channel, as always. But that does it, guys. I'm going to check out here. I do have some other, smaller content I'm going to try to pump out throughout the rest of the night. A list of things, video game stuff, some baseball news I have been meaning to get back to. I did, of course, do a turn alert, though, for the OC. I still have a pending one, maybe, for Brock Lesnar, because I don't know if that was a true heel turn or not on Monday. And if I ever find out if Bray Wyatt's a face or a heel, I will do, of course, a turn alert on him as well. But again, of course, I do have, I am working on another part 2, Roller Coaster Tycoon. I am working on episode 4 of my Wolf 3D 30th Anniversary Edition series. So there's still a lot I don't want to do. I wanted to get some of the stuff done last night when my fiance left, because she came She came up. We went to my best friend's subdeaconate ordination, and then she stayed back and helped my mom make some cookies for a baby shower today. Well, after she left, it was like 7 o'clock at night. I sat down just for a second. I just passed out. It was one of those nights I could not just get up and get moving. So, of course, it all got put onto today. But, of course, we'll see where it goes. But as always, guys, I thank you guys for your patience. I know life is so much busier for me now. Life's not perfect. Life's great. But, there's still things, I'm trying to figure out as I will be a married man next July. Hopefully, having a house by then and other things I'm working on right now. So just keep, of course, stay tuned for this channel. Because I really think since I brought back my Raw and SmackDown reviews, I really think the energy for this channel is pumped back up again. And, of course, I thank you guys very much for that as well. It looks like Robbie has 2 more comments to make. He thinks Raquel Rodriguez could be a front runner to win the Women's Rumble. Hasn't really had any bad bookings since her call-up, but she's been solid, yes. And speaking of the Rumble, not sure if she'd want to return to WWE, but could you imagine if Kairi Sane makes a surprise appearance and she starts the Women's Rumble off with Io Sky? Damn it, I want to see that match so bad! So bad! And Triple H, of course, I think was high on her. If they brought her back, give me that match. Give me that match. Again, we were supposed to... If Kairi did not get called up, we would have saw that at TakeOver Toronto in 2019. Oh, I love that. Robbie, you are a genius, my friend. But, damn. Okay, I'm going to check out though now, because I have other things I want to get done. But thank you guys, as always, to Tyler and to Robbie. Anybody else joins me in this live chat, again, for making this channel still pumping and worthwhile doing. Thank you guys, as always. And of course, as Robbie would say, of course, since Bray Wyatt is back. The Firefly Funhouse, though, isn't really back. But, to quote an old song you used to say, "We really glad that you do rants, and this is a channel that'll never ever end," which briefly did, but we brought it back, and it's still been a good ride ever since. So yes, guys, I am going to check out here. I will be back up here live at some point this week, of course, to review Raw, but I will have other content in the meanwhile. I will probably be uploading until then, too, as well. So, guys, as always, please stay tuned. What are your guys' thoughts, again, on SmackDown? I gave it a B. Please leave your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. What's your thoughts on the possible direction of Bray Wyatt as well? Do you think he's going to have a stable? Do you think he's going to have multiple personalities? What do you guys think is going to happen with Bray Wyatt? Leave your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. Be sure, as always, to slap a like on the video. Subscribe, more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well, at DemandAirboy93. Until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch y'all later. Have a great rest of your night. Peace out, everybody.